Ever found yourself tongue-tied, unsure about the correct way to say a common English phrase? Well, you're not alone. Even the most fluent English speakers sometimes stumble over common phrases. That's what we're here for today. We're going to dive into a list of everyday English phrases that are frequently misused or mispronounced, and we're not just going to point out the errors, we'll provide the correct ways to say these phrases too. So get ready to master these phrases and impress everyone with your flawless English. Let's dive right in with our first phrase, I could care less. Now, this is a common slip-up. Many people say I could care less when they mean to express complete indifference. But think about it. If you could care less, it means you still have some care left to give. The correct phrase is, I couldn't care less, indicating you have zero care left. Imagine you're at a party and someone is talking about a topic you find utterly boring. You'd say, I couldn't care less. So remember, it's I couldn't care less, not I could care less. Moving on to the next phrase, for all intensive purposes. Now, this is a classic misheard phrase. The correct phrase is for all intents and purposes, which means in every practical sense. Imagine you're comparing two smartphones. They have the same features, same performance, same price. You could say, for all intents and purposes, these smartphones are identical. Remember, it's not about intensity, it's about intention and purpose. So, the correct phrase is for all intents and purposes, not for all intensive purposes. Here's another commonly misused phrase, nip it in the bud. Now, that might paint a rather humorous picture, but it's not quite right. The correct phrase is nip it in the bud, like a gardener nipping off a bud to prevent a plant from overgrowing. Imagine you're trying to prevent a small problem at work from becoming a bigger one. You'd say, we need to nip this issue in the bud before it gets out of hand. So it's nip it in the bud, not nip it in the butt. Now let's look at the phrase one in the same. This is a common slip-up that you might hear often, but the correct phrase is actually one and the same. Picture this, you're at a party and two friends, John and Jack, are so alike, people often confuse them. You'd say, John and Jack, they're one and the same. This means they're so similar. It's like they're the same person. So next time, catch yourself before you say one and the same. Remember, it's one and the same, not one and the same. We've covered some common English phrase mistakes today. From I couldn't care less, not I could care less, to for all intents and purposes, not for all intensive purposes. Remember, it's nip it in the bud, not but, and one and the same, not one and the same. Using these phrases correctly will elevate your English proficiency. Keep practicing these phrases and soon you'll be saying them right every time. Until next time, keep perfecting your English.